Hello, hello. I am just about to go live. I'll give a few minutes so that some people can join. All right, so I'm going to get started. Thank you so very much for coming back, for your feedback from yesterday's live. It was exciting to make the announcement. It was scary. I have all the feels. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so very much. So if you're here for the first time, let me know. If you're back for round 2, let me know. If you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay. Who are you rooting for today in the football games, NFL team that you're rooting for? Did you enjoy yesterday's snow? Say hi, let me know. I would love to hear what everybody's thinking today. If you have not sent me your email and you do still want my guide to the top 10 toxins in your household, please drop that either below or send me a personal message, and I would love to share that with you. If you cannot hear my voice, I'm actually sick. I caught whatever my kids have. So I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet. And if you have any questions, drop them below. I will do my best to answer them today. Otherwise, maybe I'll do a bonus Q&A another day this week. So if you're joining me for the first time, quick introduction. My name is Dr. Felicia Pryor. I'm a certified functional medicine specialist. I'm a pharmacist, a Hashimoto's warrior, twin mama. I told my story yesterday on my live, so if you didn't catch it, go ahead and check out my live from yesterday, and you'll hear my story, who I am, what functional medicine is, what actually brought me here today. So what I want to talk about is just the package that I put together, which I called the Uncover package. What it includes, what it answers. So if you've ever done any of these tests, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts and how it has helped you. So it'll include the LRA by ELISA, the HTMA test, and then 3 one-on-one virtual visits with me to just go through your results and come up with a personalized plan for you, for your health, to lead you on a path to healing based on what your body needs, what your body is telling you, and what your body doesn't need. So to start, the LRA by ELISA, that is your sensitivity test. LRA is the lymphocyte response assay. It's the gold standard in sensitivity testing. So it'll look at sensitivities to foods, to additives, to preservatives, to environmental chemicals, molds, toxic minerals, even like dander, hairs, feathers, medications, herbs. There's a couple of different options and how inclusive they are, what they include and what they don't include. So talking to me, I can kind of help guide you on how big or little of a package you may need. But what it does is it looks directly at your lymphocytes. Those are your body's long-lived memory white blood cells. So they help indicate health and disease in the body. So it simultaneously looks at 3 different types of reactions. It looks at the complete immune system rather than just one delayed pathway. So if you do have a reaction to an item, let's say an item, shows positive, or without even taking the test, if you have a reaction to something, it could look like a whole list of things, from a headache, acne, bloating, fatigue, and it can start several hours after exposure to the item, or it can even start several days after the exposure. So your headache from today could potentially be from something that you were exposed to 3 days ago. And I get this question a lot. Everlywell is pretty mainstream, and a lot of people ask, what does this test do compared to something like Everlywell? So this test can distinguish between something that's protective or good antibody and then a bad antibody or reactive antibody. Those protective antibodies are those that show that you're tolerant or immunized to a particular item. So if you eat that substance or you have an exposure to that item, you may have a positive on something like Everlywell. However, it doesn't mean that you're having a bad reaction to it. It just means that your antibodies are doing something. So the bad antibodies, or the reactive antibodies, those are the ones that LRA is distinguishing and showing that you have a burden, you're putting a burden on your immune system from that particular item. So let's see what this means and how it can be beneficial. When your body is exposed to these items that it has a sensitivity to, it can lead to immune dysfunction, it can lead to an overburdened, overstressed immune system, and then it can cause disease long term. Your organs and tissues eventually just weaken over time, and then your body to fight your body's ability to fight off those any pathogens will be reduced. And by knowing these sensitivities, it does not mean that you can never be exposed or eat these foods ever again, but if you do cut them out for a certain amount of time based on your level of sensitivity, you can actually heal and reintroduce those foods. So if you have a strong reaction to something, if you remove it for 6 months, or a moderate reaction, you remove it for 3 months, you can heal. So for my example, I did my sensitivity test. I had 13 sensitivities, but only one strong reaction to yellow number 6. And if you've seen my story on this before, yellow number 6 was in my levothyroxine, which is the medication I take for my thyroid. So what I was taking was contributing to, issues that I'm having when it's meant to be helping me. So already just from cutting it out for the last about a month, I feel like I've really had more energy. I don't fall asleep on the couch anymore in the evenings, and I'm able to stay up late and be productive and more focused on what I'm doing. So then the other test, the HTMA, is a hair tissue mineral analysis, and this is a sample of your hair. You take a sample of your hair and it can evaluate the mineral content of your hair. So it's a snapshot of the last 3 to 4 months of mineral activity. And it can tell you any heavy metals that you have in your body and your tissues, as well as any the levels of different minerals. So what mineral imbalances can be caused by our diet, stress, medications, pollutions, taking the wrong type of supplements as well, and I'll give you an example of how that happened to me. But in addition to looking at the toxic mineral or the toxic metals or minerals in your body, it actually also takes the ratios and can give you what your metabolic rate looks like. So how you metabolize, your oxidative rate, can give you insights in your thyroid function, your adrenal activity, blood sugar, and even pathological infections, which is interesting that you can just look at a ratio of minerals and determine that there may be some sort of pathological infection going on in your body. So for my example, my ratio actually told me that there's a possible chance of candida overgrowth in my body. So that's going to help guide some next steps, next things that I start to look at. Also told me that I have too much magnesium in my tissues, and I've been taking magnesium every day. So that guided me to cut that out, as well as my vitamin D. My calcium levels indicate that I'm taking too much vitamin D, even though my blood levels of vitamin D were low. So these are some good tips and ways to guide you, as well as I also learned that I don't digest proteins very well. So my body takes in the proteins, it doesn't know what to do with them. So this also is leading me into a way where I can modify my diet and my supplements so that I can start to digest proteins properly. So all of this, Eliza, the HTMA test, is meant to give you a guidance on your diet, your lifestyle, your supplements, and that's what I'm here to do, is to help you onto a path of healing by knowing what's going on in your body, uncovering, if you will, what is triggering any symptoms so that you can make a change and begin to heal from it. And then also, this is part of my guide of my top 10 toxins in your household. So drop me your email, send me your email, in a personal message, and I will send those to you. And then that will kind of give you just a free guide, a free way to start cutting out things that may be contributing to any of those issues. Just that, things in your household that you don't realize. So my cart is now open. So I am now taking on clients. If you have any questions or if you'd like to purchase, just schedule a 15-minute call with me or send me a message and I can send you along further. We can talk about the best options for you too. All of this may not be what everybody needs. I'm also giving a free bonus for anybody who does book by next Saturday, which is January 29th. You will get 20% off of any supplements that you order through my dispensary. So any of the guidance that we get from your results, you'll get 20% off on anything that you do buy through my dispensary. And then I just wanted to go over a few questions that I got yesterday. Feel free to send more my way, whether it's now or later. And like I said, if I get kind of enough questions and common themes with questions, I'd be happy to do just a bonus Q&A sometimes this week. So one of the first questions I got is, can most things be sorted out with functional medicine, or are some things just not treatable this way? So while conventional medicine does a great job with treating acute and emergency situations, functional medicine is better suited towards chronic illness. So functional medicine is not rejecting conventional medicine either. It's just using a holistic approach to get to the root cause of your symptoms. It doesn't mean that you need to stop taking your medication, but it means that by getting to the root cause, maybe one day you can eventually get off of that conventional medication. And then another question that I'd gotten a couple times is, do I only help people with Hashimoto's? Well, Hashimoto's is definitely my passion because that's my story and that's what brought me here. I want to help you if you are having chronic issues, like chronic disease that can be triggered by things in your environment, or if you're having weight issues, stomach issues, energy issues, skin issues, or just general health issues, like you're not right. Uncovering this information, looking into this information can help you. It can help you on a path to healing and health and just living your best life. And then finally, last question that I had gotten a couple of times is if I take insurance. Unfortunately not, but I do accept HSA and FSA cards. So if you do have HSA or FSA through your workplace, you can use that by purchasing through my Stripe account. And once there is a paradigm shift in healthcare to a more patient-centered approach, hopefully insurances will jump on board, and then maybe one day I can come back and say, hey, I'm taking insurance. That would be awesome. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for being a part of my big announcement. If you know anyone who can benefit from this, please share or send them my way. I've gotten a handful of people who are friends of friends who've reached out to me saying, hey, do you think you can help me? Please send me any questions. Check out my website for more information. Book a free call with me. Drop your email for any or for my hidden toxin guide. And like I said, my cart does open today. So if you would like to jump on it and get that 20% off of any supplements that you might order, please book by Saturday. Otherwise, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to talk to you and see how I can help you. And have a very great Sunday. Thank you. Bye.